People of the internet, welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. Today's topic, of course, this video that I'm reacting to comes from another content creator here on these YouTube streets. Looks like he goes by the name of Jen. Of course, as always, I'll go ahead and leave a link to the content creator's full video down in my description, in the description box below. I thought this was an interesting topic, man. He titles his video, Asking Rich versus Poor Controversial Questions. I did watch maybe like the first 30 seconds of this video. It looks like he's, going around asking people questions. Of course, people, the richest of the rich, the poorest of the poor. If it's a choice to be rich or poor, right? Is it a decision that we make to be rich? Is it a decision that we make to be poor? Thought it was a very interesting topic. Of course, I want to watch. It looks like it's fairly long, maybe 31 minutes. I won't necessarily react to the full video, but let's see if we could get the gist of, his whole thesis here in this video. As always, again, I mentioned, of course, I'll leave the link to the full video if you do want to check it out down in the description below. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Do you think being rich or poor is a choice?
Nah.
Get up, go make some money. Get up there, go make some money.
Becoming rich is easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I feel like they don't give poor communities a chance.
I asked both poor and rich the same questions around money and success. Do you think we should raise the minimum wage?
Yeah.
I don't think it's up to me to answer that.
The U.S. has the highest wealth inequality among developed nations, where the top 20% of Americans own 86% of the wealth, while the bottom 80% own only 14. And
Yikes.
with rising inflation putting a strain on all Americans, I decided to travel to both the poorest neighborhood in DC and the richest neighborhoods in Austin to understand what keeps the poor poor and the rich rich. How different is life for the rich versus poor? And is the American dream still alive, or is it there to keep you working until you die? Find out, and without knowing anyone there, I traveled to what many consider the most dangerous low-income neighborhood in DC to investigate. But thankfully, I was able to find someone to show us around.
Pause right there real quick. So you heard the pretext of the video, folks. Of course, this gentleman here, shout out again to content creator Jen. So exactly that, to, maybe talk to the different disparities, different sides of the spectrum. Of course, the richest of the rich. Ironically enough, he says he goes to Anacostia, Washington, D.C. Of course, I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland, so he's in the DMV area. So it looks like he's going around asking people, of course, what they feel about just the concept of money and riches and poor, what are the cases and some of their reasons why they feel like they're not in their circumstances. So very interesting conversation. Of course, I'll watch a little bit more of this video. I'll give my take as well, too. As always, I always encourage you guys to leave your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts down in the comment section as well. Let's go ahead and get into it.
As we walked around, he introduced me to people that I can talk to.
Do you guys think it's a choice to be poor or rich?
A choice.
What's that?
Get up, go make some money. Get up there, go make some money. Please go make some money.
Okay, you said it's not. You said it's not. Why?
I had to search my thing, because if you would have used your opportunities, you would have chose to have, make better decisions. But the reason why I said no at first, because I was just thinking, technically it's not a choice, because anything can happen to you, the government, taxes, anything. Sometimes it might even not be a choice, and sometimes it is.
Do you think being poor is a choice?
Yes.
Why?
All right, so you got people battling the black thing, the white thing, right? And it makes sense, but it don't. Because you can get on a train right now, you'll see a white man with balled up jeans, holy shoes, but he got a fat wallet. But you'll see a black guy like me or a mixed guy like me with $200 pair of shoes or $300 pair of shoes on, or maybe a skinny wallet. A lot of black people say that white people think they better, but they're not. They just some white people make better choices.
Interesting. Let's pause there for a little bit, folks. Interesting takes. So, of course, you saw the two people. Of course, he talked to the group of young boys. He asked the young boys, hey, do you think being rich or poor is a decision? One boy confidently says, yeah, man, it's a decision. Get up and go make some money, man. You're making the decision to sit there. You're making the decision to watch life pass you by. Go put a play together. And honestly, to be completely honest, that's my sentiments as well, too. I think it is. We all make choices. It's a decision to either accept your circumstances or change them. He asked another young boy as well, of course, too. And I like watching, when they speak to the youth. Sometimes I always have my takes. I mess around with Gen Z and the generation behind me, of course. They're an interesting group of people, right? So I always like to see, younger generation, the younger kids, whatever the case is, giving their take on societal problems, things that actually matter. So you saw the other kid answers at first, yeah, he said no, it's or he answered yes, it is a choice at first, and then he said no. It's not a choice because it's circumstances that are sometimes outside of our control. He mentioned, of course, the government, taxes, things that are just outside of our control that can, sideswipe us and put us in our circumstances again, of course. As I mentioned, of course, a lot of people haven't recovered from the pandemic. Nobody saw that coming. Well, I feel like some people saw that coming, but nonetheless. But I feel like a lot of people weren't able to recover from the pandemic, and that was beyond your control, right? A lot of people can't control being laid off, right? You're employed one day, you get a call, you get an email one day, you're unemployed the next. A lot of those things you can't control. However, the aftermath, you can't prevent them from happening, but you can make the choices and the decisions to change that circumstance. It's either you're going to make the choice to be complacent in your circumstances, or you're going to make the choice to get up out of those circumstances, right? So honestly, if you ask me, folks, I think, a good chunk of it, of course, there's a small percentage of things that are outside of our control, but I think we all, especially as adults, make the choice to be in the circumstances and the positions that we're in. So watch a little bit more of this. Very interesting topic.
Do you think being rich or poor is a choice?
Nah, I wouldn't say it's a choice. Some people put themselves in certain situations or predicaments to be rich or poor.
But based on that definition, doesn't that insinuate that it's a choice? That if they put themselves into it?
Yeah, you could say. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
How much do a burger cost at McDonald's?
I don't know.
See? So that right there let me know that you live with two different lives. Because I know you don't. It's not a bad thing that you make probably better choices than me or other guys or other women in my walk. You just had a better chance, better schools, a better opportunity.
Let's pause right there real quick, man. He asked him, yo, how much is a burger? I said, I don't know. Dude said, all right, that's the difference between me and you. Right? He said, ask him how much is a burger at McDonald's, man. Some people know, some people don't. Some people don't know how much a burger is at McDonald's because that's not what they're eating. That's not even on their mind. They live a certain lifestyle, of course, that they have no reason to know how much a burger at McDonald's costs. Whereas some people, they'll be able to tell you, hey, a burger at McDonald's is $5.99. You can supersize it, get the fries with the drink. You can switch it out for whatever the case is. So again, he asked the question, of course, do you think it's a choice? He said, nah. Again, another gentleman said, nah, it's not a choice. But then he asked him, hey, don't you think based off of that decision that it is a choice? That people do have the choice to get up and put themselves in certain circumstances, get up and learn a new skill, get up and, meet a few people that can, maybe potentially put them onto some things, whatever the case is. So you do have the choice. Ultimately, I think, again, as well, too, you have the choice to make the decision. Is either I'm going to accept my circumstances or I'm going to change them. Let's keep watching.
Do you guys think the minimum wage should be increased?
Yes.
Why?
Because minimum wage jobs, and they be over here giving out $15, $14 an hour. That's not even enough to really to even get a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Why?
Because everything high. Having a job that I have, I still struggle and still go check to check. Some people get paid minimum wage and the rent don't add up to what, minimum wage is.
If I may challenge you, what if we raise the minimum wage? Wouldn't that just raise the cost of everything?
Yeah, but still, you could be able to afford at least.
But wouldn't it just get higher prices?
But that's gonna help you save money because then you're not spending money on dumb stuff.
Should we raise the price of the minimum wage? Of course, the easy answer for a lot of people is saying yes, absolutely. You got things like inflation, of course. Prices are getting high on just your daily necessities, your groceries, your bills, your rent. Everything is going higher, but wages at work are not. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, of course, that sounds like a recipe for disaster automatically because, again, if the cost of living is going up, but the wages at your job, which you're using to pay your bills, to pay your cost of living isn't going up, there's a disparity in itself. But again, that's the core definition of inflation. Of course, the man rebuttals and says, well, hey, if we raise minimum wage, does that just continue to make everything more expensive? And essentially it does, but the situation right now is that that's not happening. The situation right now is that wages are not going up, but inflation is. So yeah, if we raise minimum wage, then other things will be expensive. But right now, things are just getting expensive and wage is not moving anywhere, is the disparity. You see what I'm saying? So it still is a challenge nonetheless, but shout out to the young brother. Of course, he said, well, yeah, if wages were increased, hopefully more people will be able to save. I know a lot of people right now, myself included, saving is not really realistic. Yeah, you save, you put things to the side for, other finances, or maybe coming down the line, whatever the case is, but savings is not as realistic. Of course, a lot of people, of course, you heard the gentleman say as well, too, living paycheck to paycheck is pretty common. I forgot the percentage. I think it's about 60%, if I'm not mistaken, of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That is just the reality for a lot of people. So again, going back to the thesis of this whole video, gentleman is asking, is it a decision to be rich or poor? I want to get into some of the rich folks because of course it looks like he interviewed some of the rich folks as well too. Well, let's just keep watching. 1 second.
I was curious to see how different or similar it would be as I traveled to the richest neighborhoods in Austin, Texas. I think we're gonna go house to house to ask rich people the same questions that we asked the poorer neighborhoods. And compared to Anacostia, man, bro, it was hard as shit to get an interview here. They either didn't answer or just straight up rejected me.
Would you like to participate?
You guys, best of luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
But you know me, bro.
Just pause right there. I mean, I would assume that would be the case. You're walking up to random people's houses in affluent neighborhoods asking them about their finances and what it's like to be rich. I wouldn't answer my door either. Who are you? He's lucky even some people even decided to answer. You came unannounced. Now, of course, a lot of these things sometimes are indeed scripted, whatever the cases, but it looks like he was actually walking door to door in affluent neighborhoods in Austin, Texas to ask these people, you know, if it's a decision to be rich or poor. Some people are not always going to be comfortable to share their finances, their way of life, things of that nature. You can't just walk up to people's personal spaces and expecting them to answer your questions on a whim, you know? Nonetheless, let's keep watching.
So I went downtown to talk to the people there. Where are you from and what do you do for work?
I am from Argentina and the US, and I'm a full-time artist and designer.
So I have a real estate development company, and then I have also back home where I live a shared workspace, and I run that on the day-to-day. But those businesses have been pretty dialed in for several years now. So about a year ago, I actually got involved in a pickleball business, of all things. So now I have a third company.
I'm a nurse. I've been in sales for about 20-something years.
I'm in the commercial real estate business.
Got it. I'm curious, guys. Do you think anyone can become rich?
I do. I think it requires a lot of hard work, determination, discipline, and just not giving up.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's not a choice. It's very difficult to make money in today's society. Each year that passes, it's much more difficult. It's not a choice, but it is a choice to try to do your best. However, it's not guaranteed to anyone, and it's very difficult for people to make ends meet.
Now, of course, one call out that I'm already noticing again, it's a fairly long video. I didn't watch everything in its entirety. But so far, one thing I kind of noticed already is that when he was in the poorest neighborhoods, of course, Anacostia, Washington, D.C. is predominantly African-American, I do understand. But he only asked the black people, hey, black people, what's it like being poor? Is it a choice to be poor? And then, of course, he says he travels to Austin, Texas. He acts the affluent neighborhoods, whatever the case is. So far, he seems to only be asking the white people, hey, white people, what's it like to be rich? Are there no poor white people or any other minority, of course, or any other demographic of human that is poor in Anacostia, D.C.? Again, I'm from the DMV. I think there is. Are there no affluent minorities? Of course, I forgot the nationality of the one lady that he was referring to, whatever the case is, but seems like, you know, we don't want to make it a race thing. I think being rich or poor knows no race. Well, actually, sometimes it does. We can argue and say that, again, some people of different demographics or skin tones, whatever the cases, have different privileges or whatever the cases, yada, yada. I'm sure that's maybe something he's going to get into as well, too. But yeah, that's a little thing that I kind of noticed. It looks like, I'm pretty sure there's some affluent minorities in Austin, Texas, who have nice houses that he could have interviewed as well, too, just to kind of diversify, you know, the palette. Right here, the narrative is being painted as though it's just the blacks that are poor in D.C. and it's only the, you know, the whites or whatever the cases that are affluent in Austin, Texas. I'm sure those roles could be switched depending on, you know, your people that you're interviewing, whatever the cases. So just a little call out there. But nonetheless, I did want to actually mention that I did like the one lady's answer. Of course, you heard the one lady that he asked, of course, it looks like it was her and her husband where he asked. She said, yeah, I mean, yeah, can anybody become rich? She says, yeah, man, of course it takes discipline, determination, drive, whatever the cases, which all I agree. Again, it's a conscious decision that you got to make to be able to be, you know, financially affluent. Like one day I'm going to make X amount. I don't know if it's a millionaire, whatever the case, whatever your financial goals are, you make that choice to do so. You don't just stumble upon being rich. You know, you can't just, as they say, of course, just manifest. I think even if you believe in manifestations, it does take a level of work. You have to make the choice to get up. You got to make the choice to study. You got to make the choice to learn new skills. You got to make the choice to go to those networking events that are going to put you that much closer into becoming financially stable, right? So becoming rich is something that you have to make a conscious decision to do, I'm pretty sure. And even in poorness as well, too, in poverty, I feel like you can make the choice to sit and struggle, or you can put a play together, as I like to say, man. Put a play together, get creative, learn something, be driven, have goals, have aspirations, have determination to see to it that, hey, man, I am determined to change my situation. I am making the choice to change my situation. Ideally is what I'm getting at. So, of course, folks, very interesting video. Of course, I wasn't going to watch the full thing. Of course, I will leave the link down in the description below so you can check out this content creator. Again, shout out to Jen. But I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section, folks. Is it a decision to be rich? Is it a decision to be poor? People that are in those circumstances, regardless of where you fall in that spectrum, whether you are somebody that consider yourself, financially stable or rich, or somebody who's going through poverty or just poor right at the current moment right now, are you making the choice to do that? For anybody that has obtained some level of success or financial stability, financial freedom, what choices did you make to see to it that was your reality? And on the contrary right now, man, what choices are you making right now, man? If you're somebody who feels like your finances ain't really adding up, what choices are you making that you think are holding you to that circumstance? Again, folks, if you ask me, in my personal opinion, I do feel like it is a choice. Majority of it, if you believe in free will, a lot of the things that are happening to us are decisions that we made. Yeah, there are going to be some things that, those miscellaneous attacks or those miscellaneous things that kind of sideswipe us and come out of nowhere that we can't plan for. Yeah, 100%. But we still have the choice to make on how we react to those things. Of course, folks, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Of course, as always, the likes, the comments, and subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can catch more content like this moving forward on this channel. I will catch you on the next one.